Somebody just joined the waiting room whose name is It's Me, Elmo. I don't know if they intonate it that way, but that's what the name says. That's great. Okay. Lots of schools this evening and a baseball team. Very cool. Elmo went away. They left the waiting room. It's unfortunate. It's just me here. 4 minutes till the Ovanova Solar Exploration Experience. Oh, an iPad joined the waiting room. Luke, how did you come in as Ovanova team?
Oh, I logged in as that earlier today.
Huh, we're both here as Ovanova team. More, rename. Luke. It won't let me make you co-host because we're the same human. Or the same account, I guess. Oh, you already are a co-host,
Yeah.
That's why.
Mm-hmm.
Okay. Cool. Wonderful.
Wunderbar.
83 to 71 solution. 13 registrants, 1 minute till.
Everybody's
Casimo.
gonna show up at the last minute. I love it.
Casimo, how's it going?
I'm good, my friend. How are you guys?
Doing fantastic. Thanks for asking. Are you able to join us on camera this evening?
But I'm nude.
Oh, that's exactly why we asked you to turn on your camera.
No, man, that's scary. Do you see me now or no?
Yes, we can.
All right,
Thanks for
buddy.
joining us.
I'm not nude, buddy. I was just kidding, just for the record, because I know this is being recorded.
Yeah, we'll live stream on YouTube for the whole world to see.
I probably shouldn't have said that. How you doing, John?
Doing really well. Having a blast.
Good.
We
Good.
Hopefully you didn't disappoint any of the viewers out there by teasing them.
I shouldn't have said that. I didn't realize this was a recording. So maybe you could edit that.
No, I think humans are meant to have fun and play. So I don't think you did anything wrong. Thanks for showing up on time when you said you would. And we're gonna get started. So now just for real, just to be super clear, the way that this is the easiest fundraiser that we have ever heard of, but it does require folks to be present on camera with their microphone on and no driving. And so I know I see Mr. Soria is in a vehicle. We just think that safety is more important than raising funds or solar energy.
I'm parked.
But we do this.
I'm parked. I stepped out of my job for this.
Oh, cool. Fantastic. Awesome. Well, that counts. We'll work with that. We care about our fellow human safety, and we know that it's important to be fully aware for this conversation because it includes math. And the longer we get from our school days, the more complicated math is. We need to be parked. Thanks for coming, guys. We'll get started right away. Just so we can enjoy each other for the short time we have together as humans, let's do introductions. So I'm John Carey, right here. We don't know who the dinosaurs are, but this is Lester Crafton, the other co-founder of Ovanova. We've been giving funds to community organizations for around 6 years. So we've been doing this for a while now. And we've picked up some teammates along the way, Luke and Holly. And Luke's actually with us today. So Luke, I don't know if you want to say hey to everybody.
How's everybody doing tonight? It's nice to meet y'all.
So if you guys haven't seen it, Luke and Holly actually sent you guys a custom solar design either yesterday or today. So if you really like that, you're like, oh, cool, I got a free solar design without having to talk to a salesperson. Well, thank Luke and Holly for that. If you don't see it in your inbox, it's probably in your spam box. And if you don't see it in either one of those places, shoot me or Luke a private message, or you can put it in the chat box and we'll make sure that we get that over to you. But it was intended to be there already. So here's how introductions are going to go, guys. So let's have some fun tonight, right? Get a little bit of energy. I know it's been a long day. It was hot here in North Carolina. So again, I'm John Carey, one of the founders of Ovanova. My location in the country is Hillsborough, North Carolina. It was in the 80s today. I'm still a little sweaty. The organization that I came here to support is the organizations that you guys came here to support, because I'm running this thing. And we're interested in hearing why you guys think that more people aren't already using solar energy, just off the top of your head. My thoughts are folks just are too busy to look into it, but everybody else has, you have your own thoughts about it. So whoever introduces themselves next gets to pick who goes next. So I'm gonna pick Christina. Christina, would you mind introducing yourself?
Sure. I'm Christina De Leon Balok, based in Miami, Florida. I'm supporting the Ethel Koger Beckham K-8 Center. And yeah, I think this is a very interesting idea for a fundraiser, and probably the easiest way for me to actually get some education about solar energy. I know my husband has a friend that recently left the Miami area, moved to Europe, but he had solar panels on his home. So, something that, I think is interesting and pretty innovative. So I'm interested to hear more about it.
Cool. Well, that's what this is for, Christina. Thanks for coming.
Thank you.
It's you said it's Ethel Koger. This is like the second week you guys have been using our service. Do you know what the funds are going towards for the K-8 center?
It's for the PTA organization at the school.
Excuse me.
It's
okay, just a general PTA fundraiser. Okay.
Mommy, is it time for the other one?
No.
Well,
Okay.
we love supporting the kiddos and education, and we know the parent-teacher associations work super hard for the youngsters. So thanks for being here and supporting them. Would you mind picking who goes next, Christina? Who would you like to hear from?
Sure. I'm going to pick on Glendy, who's actually also my mom.
Glendy. Oh, you're muted, Glendy. Here, I'll ask to unmute you. There you go. Perfect.
Hello.
Hey, Glendy. So we're just, all we're doing is saying who we are, where we're located, who we came to support, and why we think that why we think that solar panels are on all the roofs in our neighborhood.
Well, my name is Wendy Zavala, and I'm in San Antonio, Texas. And of course, I wanted to support my grandson's PTA school. And I'm also a new homeowner, and solar panels is something that I have been interested in learning more about. I have a few friends that have gotten solar panels, and they rave about how they're saving a lot of money on their electricity bill and so forth. And then we had a freeze here in San Antonio a couple of months ago, and people with solar panels probably had power, whereas many others didn't. So I think this is a good opportunity to learn about it. I am supporting my grandson's school, which is Beckham PTA. So I'm happy to be here.
Well, we're happy to have you. Who would you like to hear from next, Glendy?
Who's on, Christy, that I can Who?
Oh, Dee Zavala.
Dee Zavala.
I think he's on mute. I think he's on mute.
Yeah, I asked to unmute him. I think that might work.
Okay.
Mr. Zavala, he got it.
Yes, Dagoberto Zavala, live in Weslaco, Texas. I'm supporting my daughter, Cristina de Leon Bullock, and of course, my grandson at the Beckman School, PTA. And as far as panels, it's not real popular down in South Texas, but I think a lot of people are starting to get into it, and I'm here to learn.
What's your first name, Mr. Zavala?
Dagoberto.
Okay, I'm gonna call you Mr. Zavala. You said Dagoberto?
Yes.
How do you spell it? I'll get it right. How do you spell it?
Dagoberto. There you go.
Dagoberto. Mr. Dagoberto. Well, thank you for coming to support your grandson. And you said it's it's not a big thing in your area, huh?
Not really.
Okay.
South Texas, it's just not that popular, but you do see them here and there every once in a while.
There is a whole lot of sunshine down there, that's for sure.
Exactly. There's a lot of windmills too.
Totally. Well, this is going to be super fun, guys. Dagoberto, who would you like to hear from next? We've got Eric, Rosa, and Cosimo.
Eric.
Thank you, Dago. I'm Eric Soria. I'm also supporting Ethel Kroger Beckham. I'm curious about solar energy. Curious to what it is for installation and maintenance. I would like to know more about that.
Very cool. Well, we can definitely talk about that. Thank you for being here. Thanks for stepping out of work and finding a quiet place to learn about solar energy and to support the K-8 school. So we have Rosa and Cosimo left. Who would you like to hear from?
Let's hear from Rose.
Rosa, can you join us on camera too? We've been doing this for 6 years, guys, and sometimes we'll have middle schoolers pose as their parents. So that's why we say, hey, turn on your camera.
Hello.
Awesome.
They probably forged their signature too.
You know the children very well, Chrissy. Cool.
Hello?
Hi, Rosa. We can hear you and we can see you too. Thanks for joining us.
See me? Okay, hold on.
Yes, ma'am.
Because I'm on my phone. I'm so sorry.
Rosa, are you able to see the screen as well?
Yes, I can see the screen.
Oh, cool.
Can you guys hear
Fantastic.
me well? Because I just got home, so
Loud and clear.
okay. So my name is Rosa. I'm here in Tampa, Florida, and I'm seeing a lot of my neighbors getting solar panels. So, I'm very interested in finding out, how much, we could save, how much it is to, how the costs, installation, maintenance, everything that there is to know about solar panels. And I actually found out about this program from my daughter's school, which is why I'm here, because you guys are helping, like they're doing a fundraiser, so you guys are helping them out. So yeah.
What school is that, Rosa?
Summerfield Elementary.
Oh, Summerfield. Super cool. You guys are shading one of the playgrounds, huh?
Yes. So they just let me know about this and I signed up. So here I am.
Yeah, just like in Texas, there's a lot of sun in the Sunshine State, and apparently those kids are cooking. So they decided to put some shading over the other playground at the school.
Yes, exactly.
Thank you for showing up to support kids in the shade. Very cool, Rosa. So Cosimo, you're the last one. Would you mind introducing yourself, saying hey to the team?
Sure. Hi, team. My name is Cosmo. I'm in Parkland, Florida. So I would challenge anybody that they have better weather than us. I think we do have the best weather out of everybody in the group, although I'm dying of heat right now. But so yeah, I'm representing, or I'm here on behalf of a friend of ours who's in the baseball, Justin Williams and Caden Williams. And so as far as solar goes, extremely interested in it. We just recently got a Tesla. So we are big into making our environment work for us kind of thing. So looking to see what you guys have to bring to this presentation and learn more about it.
And Cosmo, I don't know if you saw, but I just responded to your message.
Okay, good. I did not see, but I will look. Thank you.
So Cosimo, this is always fun, but electric vehicles are going to become more and more common. A lot of manufacturing companies for vehicles are actually discontinuing gasoline vehicles. Have you ever thought about, if you had solar panels, then your gas station becomes your home?
Yeah, quite interesting. I know Elon Musk is working on doing all that as well. So
the crazy thing is it's been done for quite some time. Does anybody know how long solar's been around? The United States.
No idea.
Yeah, Dagoberto knows exactly all the stuff I'm going to say tonight. You don't have to take my word for anything. Just Google it. We've had solar panels since 1954. Bell Labs invented them back in 1954. The first solar cells that were put into play are still working.
Wow.
I mean, I hear a bunch of children running around, right? The reason that kids have a lot of maintenance is because they move a lot. They get bumps and bruises, right? Solar panels, they just sit still. They don't have any moving parts at all. They don't need oil changes. They don't need any maintenance at all, other than maybe spraying them off with a hose if you live in a really, really like a gravel, dirt driveway where there's just dust flying up everywhere. But we'll get into that type of stuff. But isn't that wild that solar's been around for 67 years and it's not everywhere? So that's why we started this fundraiser, guys, because we didn't really have a good answer for why solar panels weren't the main way that we generate electricity. So we thought we'd ask our fellow humans. And so we bribed them all with $50 towards something they care about to join us on Zoom so we could talk about it. So if there's anything cool about the pandemic, it's that it taught everybody to use Zoom so we could come together and have this conversation. So
Technology.
if you guys came, yes, ma'am. Yes, ma'am. And if any of you came here just for the fundraiser, that's okay. We love supporting community organizations. And if you guys see the cat on the screen, then we're actually done with that. So there's nothing that is required of you moving forward to generate that donation. It is complete at this point. The rest of this is literally for you guys to have a friendly way to talk to a solar nerd and get any questions you could possibly think of answered. And we did two things to make it really easy for you because we know people are busy, right? I honestly think that's the biggest reason folks aren't using solar energy is because they're too busy. They just haven't had a chance to really investigate it. But one thing we did is earlier today, we sent you a solar design so you could see how much money you're currently losing by not using solar. Because some of the things you guys said are really clear, right? Friends are raving about the savings. Neighbors are getting solar panels. Everybody's saving, right? And so just to be real quick, I'm just looking here. So Glendy, we did a design for you that you have in your inbox that produces 101% of your energy that you need. And if you decided to do like a 0 down option, kind of like people get their iPhones, you know how people get the iPhone just handed to you basically for free and then you pay for it monthly until you've paid it off? Well, that's how people buy their solar. They don't pay anything up front most of the time. They just have it installed, activated, and then pay for it monthly with the money that they would have paid the utility company, and they no longer have to pay them, right? Because if you generate your own electricity, you don't pay the power company anymore to generate electricity. Kind of like if you have chickens that lay eggs in your backyard, you don't have to buy eggs from the grocery store anymore, right? So you just use the money you were spending on grocery store eggs to pay for your chicken food, to get your eggs. So Glenda, you'd save $9.11 a month if you chose to go solar 0 down, just with the design that we created for you. Dagoberto, we created a 101%, a design that produces 101% of your energy needs, and you'd save $8.40 a month if you decided to do the 0 down option, which is the most expensive financing, right? If you wanted to pay for less, if you wanted to save more than $8.40 a month, then you would just put some money down, kind of like when you buy a house. The more you put down, the less you pay in financing, right? Let's see here. Christina, we made a design for you that produces 75% of the energy that you need, and it would produce that 75% of the energy that you need for $25 less than you currently pay for that portion of your electricity. So you would still pay the electricity company a little bit, but you would get the energy that you did not have to buy for less. So you would still experience savings. You would just buy some eggs from the grocery store and eat some eggs from your backyard chickens, if that makes sense. So you
makes perfect sense. And question, in that type of scenario, right? So my mom was talking about how in Texas, we know it was all over the news, how people during that freeze, that winter storm, people were without electricity for days and people really suffered. And if there was ever a situation like that with only having 75% of our electricity needs, we would still have electricity during a major emergency storm like that, correct?
Well, thank you for asking. So this brings up a question. I'm curious. Do you guys know how solar works when like it's dark outside or it's rainy or because this is a good question, right? You're talking, are you guys getting it? Because what if you can't get all the electricity that you need? So I'm curious, does anybody here know how solar works like after dark?
Well, I imagine it's like charged up during the day when there is sun, and then it's like reserved, correct? Something like that.
Yeah, actually, solar panels do not store electricity at all. And
wow.
The majority of people who go solar don't have any batteries with their solar.
Hmm.
So you actually do not need a battery to benefit from the savings of solar energy. So I want to answer your question, Christina. I just didn't want to answer it in a way that you didn't have enough foundational information to understand the answer, if that makes sense.
And while we're discussing this particular situation, another question that I had, and for anybody in Florida, also in Texas, right? So we get hit by hurricanes pretty frequently, and I would also like to ask, how did the panels work, or how sturdy are they during hurricane? How do they weather major storms like that?
100%. These are great questions, because honestly, if I was a homeowner, which I am, and I was going to go solar, which I did, I would have all of these questions. There's no way in heck I would invest any amount of money in doing something that I was going to have to. Life is already busy enough. If I had to maintain my panels, there's already too many things to maintain. So let's keep asking questions like this. And if you guys don't feel that my answers are completely answering your question, keep asking, please. But let me tell a little story based on what you just asked and see if it kind of brings full circle all of the different questions that you asked. Okay. So let's think about it this way. Let's start with the science of how solar works. So when you go solar, your solar panels produce more electricity while the sun is shining than your home can use. So what happens is the electricity first goes into your house's electrical panel and feeds all your lights and wash it. And if you're washing dishes or you're washing laundry, it's going to serve those appliances. But there's going to be most of the day where you're producing much more than you could possibly use. And that's just how solar works. And we can talk more about that, but I want to keep that part simple. So that's why when you go solar, you get a bi-directional utility meter. And so what happens is you don't just buy electricity from the utility company. As a matter of fact, you produce electricity and you sell it to your power company. So this bi-directional meter will count up the excess electricity that you generate during the day, and it will actually, you actually get credits for it. Imagine tokens, if you will. Okay. And the electricity goes back out onto these power lines and your closest neighbors get to use it. So I don't know. A lot of people wonder, why in the world would my utility company buy electricity from me? Right? Because they sell electricity. Why would they want to buy it? Well, here's why. If you were to ask yourself, how far away is the power plant from my home? Right? A lot of people have no idea how far the power plant is. And if you think about it, electricity is pretty darn important. Does anybody here not plan on having a refrigerator for the rest of their lives? Right? And so we're all going to buy electricity until the day that we die. It's not even a question. And Christina asked a question about after hurricanes, because I'm assuming that you guys have actually had a power outage before. Glendy, did your power go out because of the freeze in Texas?
Yes, it did. It did.
How long did it go out?
Well, at first, we would have power for, say, maybe 20 minutes, and then it would go off for about an hour. They did this rolling power. And then towards the end there, after 2 or 3 days, it was it was on for 1 minute, and then off for for several hours. And then I think there was a day or two where I didn't have any power at all, or maybe just for a minute at a time or something. Yeah.
And what was that like?
It was very frustrating. For one, it was cold in the house too, and couldn't cook or anything. I mean, it was really a challenge.
Isn't it wild? Yeah, electricity has become very important to us humans. It really has. And when it's not available, it kind of throws a kink in the game. It's all the clocks have to be reset. The fridge can't be opened a bunch or it's going to lose. You got food could spoil. We've got all sorts of stuff going on. Hot water for showers. It's nice to take a hot shower, right? So all of this stuff is really important to us. But a lot of people, they have no clue. We used to ask this question to start all of these conversations off. Does anybody here know how we generate electricity as a human family? Like how we make the lights come on? And we found out that like pretty much nobody knew. Like after 5 years of asking that question, we found out that like people are just like, well, I just turn the lights on, they come on. You know, I flip the switch. And so there's this magic that happens. I won't bore you with the science of it. That happens a couple hundred miles from where you live. Well, guess what, guys? There's technology now that can produce that same electricity that comes down these power lines at your house. And your power company actually loses a whole lot of that electricity, transmitting it all the way to your house. That it's like 50% losses in transmission. So that's why they're willing to buy it from you. Because when they purchase it from you, Glendy, and sell it to your closest neighbors, they get to sell electricity that was created from free sunshine to your closest neighbors without having to generate it the expensive way far away and ship it all the way down the power lines. So that probably makes sense now why your power company is excited to purchase your electricity from you. So that's how solar works without a battery, is you're still connected to the power lines like you've always been. And so your electricity will be just as reliable as it has always been, even in Christina's case, where she only has enough panels to produce 75% of her electricity, because she still has access to the power lines. So even when it's cloudy, rainy, or dark, she'll never have flickering lights and she'll never run out. She'll just have a little bit of an electricity bill rather than her full electricity bill, if that makes sense. So now here's the part that you guys asked about that I think is you might want to ask me some clarification questions to make sure you understand. But if the power lines are damaged and if the utility company is not able to provide service to your home because of a hurricane or a freeze like in Texas, if you don't have a battery, so I want to be really clear, you can still have electricity if you have a battery, but if you go solar without a battery, which is very common, you can totally do it because you have the power company, then when the utility lines are damaged, your solar array will shut off. Does anybody, like, what do you guys really hope is happening if the power goes out? What do you hope the utility company is doing?
I have a question. So, hello?
I'm glad you have a question.
Can't the electricity, instead of us selling it to the electric company, isn't there like something like I don't know, you call it a battery, I don't know what that is, but isn't there something like a battery that could help us like store that excess electricity, and we could like sort of like recycling it instead of, rather than just throwing it away and giving it to the electric company?
Yeah, people do that all the time because they're like, you know what? My power company isn't going to pay me as much as I want for my energy. So you know what? I'm going to store it in a battery and use it myself instead of sell it to them. So you can totally do that. I'm sorry, I interrupted you. What did you say?
Is that what that's for? The battery that you're talking about?
So, some people use it for that. Totally. We actually, that's a very smart way to use a battery in a lot of scenarios. A lot of people use it like a backup generator, right? Because when the power goes out on the utility grid, your solar system has a safety mechanism in it where it will actually shut down completely if it doesn't sense a signal from the utility grid. And here's why. So Glendy, if you went solar in Texas without a battery and you had another freeze, then you would not have electricity even if the sun was shining, because remember, you're a producer of electricity. And when the sun is out, you're overproducing and you're actually pumping electricity back onto the power lines. And if the power lines are damaged, that means somebody's out there fixing them. And if somebody's out there on the power lines trying to fix them, they could get shocked. Does that make sense? Because you're producing okay, there, yeah. And exactly. So you're producing electricity.
Wait, did I hear you correctly? You said that I would not have power?
If you chose to go solar and not get a battery. Now, if you chose to go solar with a battery, then what would happen is your system would actually open the circuit. This is a closed circuit where electricity could flow. This is an open circuit where electricity cannot flow. And so what you would do is you would actually open a circuit to the utility grid. So you could use your solar to power your house, and then the excess would not be sold back to the power company, but it would charge up your battery. And then after dark, you would run off your battery because, again, your solar panels don't store energy, they just produce it. And then when the sun comes back up the next day, the sun would power your home and it would recharge your battery. And then at night you would use the battery and you have a microgrid at your house. So this is why 10 of our last 15 customers have decided to get batteries, because they said, you know what, John, I like the idea of being able to produce my own electricity and store my own electricity, because we know what it's like when the power goes out for 3 or 4 days after a hurricane, and that's not cool. And what you'll find is it's super affordable. So because you guys showed up tonight, you might have saw this earlier, but tomorrow, Luke and Holly are actually, and Luke's probably doing it right now. Luke, are you sending them their open books right now?
No, not tonight. No.
Okay. Luke's an overachiever, guys. He's such a hard worker. But either way, you will get your open book pricings. And what your open book pricing is it's a spreadsheet that looks just like this. Okay. And you're going to get this tomorrow in your email. So if you don't, holler at us, because it was an accident if you didn't get it. So what it's going to do, guys, is it's going to break down the total price that we gave you yesterday. And it's going to show you exactly how much the panels will cost, how much that racking, the stuff that mounts it to your roof so it will not blow away during a hurricane, how much that costs. We even share with you guys how much we earn. It's all transparent. We share with you how much the electricians and roofers get paid. So that way, if you guys know a brother who's a contractor and you would rather him earn that money, or you have a contractor that you would prefer to work with, that's no problem. We've been doing this for 6 years, and we just want to remove all the obstacles from people using solar energy, because it makes a whole lot of sense, but people just have questions, and that's what we're here for. So in your open book pricing, you'll see a tab at the bottom. Glendy, are you able to see my screen well enough? Can you see the standard option tab right here?
Standard option. Where?
Do you see that right at the bottom?
Yes.
Okay, so this tab is going to be you going solar without a battery, and so your electricity will work just like it always has. If the power's out on the grid, your power is out. The next tab over is your battery option, and that is going to be the one where you can produce your electricity and store your electricity. And it's going to show you all the costs associated with it, including your federal tax credit number, which a lot of people, where everybody lives in a different place, right? We all have different local incentives to help pay for your solar and make it less expensive. But no matter where you live, if you pay taxes, you're going to get the federal tax credit, which is very cool. And it's 26% of the total cost of the system. So I don't know all of your numbers off the top of my head, but let's just say that your solar costs $20,000. Then that means your federal tax credit would be 26% of the total cost. So that would be $5,200 that you would either get a check back from the government for $5,200 when you file your taxes, or you would not have to pay the government $5,200 depending on how you file your taxes. So I'm just going to pick one of you guys as an example. But so Glendy, are you a W-2 or a 1099? How do you do your tax stuff?
W-2.
You said, okay. So for a W-2, you actually pay your taxes in throughout the year. So for you would get a check back for the tax credit number. So when you're looking at your spreadsheet tomorrow and you see this number that says federal tax credit, the whatever number shows up here for you, that's a check you'd get back when you filed your 2021 taxes.
Is that one time? Is that just one time tax credit?
It is exactly. It's a one-time tax unless you can't take advantage of the whole thing that year. Like for instance, let's say you're a 1099. Is anybody here a 1099?
Yes.
No 1099. Oh, okay. So for 1099s, because it's real simple. Let's say that your tax credit was like $8,500, but you only had $4,000 of tax liability. Then you would actually have $4,500 left over that you could use the next year. So it rolls over for up to 20 years. It's a one-time amount, but it's a credit that you get to use all of. And it might take you 3 years, it might take you 10 years, it might take you 1 year, but it is your money, and it's not like a deduction. It's on the end number. Really cool. So it's not like writing off miles, it's that final number on your taxes. It's a big deal. If you don't go solar, the number in that box when you get your design, that's just going to Uncle Sam. So it's a big deal. It's money right off the top. So so either way, I don't want to get lost in this because we wanted to complete the thought here. So let me go back to the science, and then we'll get into the dollars and cents, because I know I mentioned that, you know, Dagoberto is going to save $8.40 and get 100% of his energy. We talked about Eric can get 101% and save $10.53 a month. Eric's not with us anymore. Let's see here. We lost Cosmo too. Well, Rosa, oh, there we go, Rosa. Yeah, so so you must have some shading or something, Rosa. Do you have shading in your yard, like trees or something? I'm asking to unmute you because you're muted.
No,
You don't
I don't.
Okay, well,
There's like
Luke,
a
would you
wood
check that?
line, but it's in the back of the house. It doesn't cover the house or anything.
Luke will check your design. The numbers don't look like they make sense. It looks like you would spend about $15 more a month if you went solar than what you're currently spending.
Yeah,
but,
there's
you know,
there's no trees around the house.
usually
or
that's the case if there's shading. Usually solar saves people money right off the bat. But let me ask you guys this. We already know that we're going to buy electricity forever. You guys are homeowners. You guys own your houses. So why would you rent your electricity? So if you were renting an apartment before you bought your house and your rent was $800 a month, and somebody said, you know what, you could own this place if you're willing to spend $850 a month or $900 a month, would you guys even question paying the extra $50 or $100 a month to actually be paying yourself to own something? Yeah, no question at all, right? It's like, oh, of course you're throwing, would I want to throw away $800 a month, or do I want to pay myself to own this place I'm going to live in? So that's the way to think about solar energy, guys, is you can own solar panels, but you will never pay off your electricity bill. So we're going to talk about the finances in just a second, but I just want to be really, really clear here. If you have a battery, then yes, you can have the lights on when nobody else has them on. And the cool thing is, for me personally, the most reliable thing in my life so far has been the sunshine. The sun has come up every single day without question. It's never sent a bill. And so that's the beauty of solar equipment. Again, it's a 67-year-old technology so far. The first ones still work. Does anybody have any idea what brand new panels come with as far as a warranty?
Lifetime? No.
That's not true, but I believe mine are going to work for my lifetime for sure, but they come with a warranty of 25 years. And the warranty doesn't say that they're going to work. It's even better than that. It's a production guarantee. So it's not saying that your panels will produce electricity. It's guaranteeing a certain amount of electricity. And so because electricity is worth money, that's how we can do the math and see our savings, because your panels are guaranteed to produce a certain amount of electricity, and electricity costs a certain amount. And that's how you can see what your savings are going to be. So that's pretty cool. The warranty is not like your panels will work. It's saying that they're going to work well for 25 years. And again, the first ones are still pumping out electricity. So 100 years from now, they might not be doing as well as they were when they were new, but they'll still be working. So here's how.
I have a quick
Yeah.
question.
Of course.
Are the panels made in USA?
You can totally get USA made panels on your open book pricing. You guys are going to get, there's a list of different types of panels you can choose from, and you can click them. And not only can you actually look at the panel and see like how it looks aesthetically, you can see what the warranty is. You can see how efficient it is. You can see what the price of it is. You can see all the information about the panels, and you can see if it's made in the United States or Germany or China or any of that stuff. And we can get any piece of equipment that you'd like to have, Glendy. We made a choice for you because we have beliefs about like my personal home. What I put on my personal home is I made the same choices for the people on this call. Because I'm a solar nerd, and if you're wondering why I made those choices, more than happy to explain it to you. But you can definitely have anything that you want. Here's a couple examples. Like if you wanted a solar pergola, you could actually have what's called a bifacial solar panel. It lets light pass through it. So you can actually enjoy kind of like a nice sunroom or something like that if you wanted. If you didn't like the look of it at all, you could actually take a picture of your roof, and we can get a film that goes over the panels to make it camouflage. You could get like the old school silver ones and put them in the yard where nobody can see if you don't want them on your roof. But so far, we haven't had a single customer get a panel that looks like this. Everybody has wanted these all black ones. And Glendy, this is actually a customer in Texas. And they, during that freeze that you were talking about, they were able to actually clear the snow off their panels and produce electricity. Pretty cool, right? So it's exactly what you were talking about. Even though the electricity grid failed to produce electricity, they have something that has no moving parts up on the roof, out of the way, that's able to produce electricity as long as sunshine is hitting it. There's a picture of that same house in October during Halloween without snow. And just out of curiosity, so like, let me just ask, I've been rambling too much and I just want to check comprehension. So if you guys wanted to go solar, how much do you have to pay up front to get the solar installed?
Zero.
Perfect. Okay. I hope everybody's clear on that. Just like you can go into a store and get $1,000 iPhone and walk out without giving them any money, you can have solar installed, activated on your home without spending anything up front. And then your monthly cost can be whatever you want it to be. Did anybody here choose a 15-year mortgage over a 30-year mortgage?
Yep.
Why did you choose to do that?
A lot less.
Yeah,
Interest overall.
Boom, there you go. And so if you might be the type of person who wants to pay your solar off in 5 years or 10 years rather than somebody who wants to have, because you paid more each month with a 15-year mortgage than you would have with a 30, right? Your monthly costs were higher. Exactly. But you were paying yourself instead of paying rent. And so that's how solar will work as far as your monthly payment is concerned. You can, where is it at? Huh, I guess it got deleted. Somebody deleted my favorite slide. Well, dang, did it go in the bottom or something? Luke, somebody deleted my favorite slide. Well, maybe weird. I think my business partner was just, he was trying to he was just testing me to see how good I was when things don't show up exactly like they should. So no problem. Well, here we go. Here's an example of this. This is kind of a poorly illustrated example, but so most of you guys are producing 100% of your energy needs. So that means 100% of your electricity cost for the units of electricity you buy will go away. And then you get to replace that with whatever payment you want. And if you chose a longer term, then your payment will be lower. And most likely it will be less than what you're currently paying the utility company. And therefore you would not only pay nothing out of pocket, but you would actually save money right up front each month. And so that's the number I read off to you guys. Like Christina, when I read off $25, that means you'd be pocketing 25 bucks. But it's like a 30-year mortgage type deal, except for it's a 21-year solar loan. So you might say, you know what, John, I don't mind paying a little bit extra and paying it off sooner. So I want a 12-year loan and I'll pay $25 more than I'm currently paying. You get to choose how you want to pay for solar. That's not up to us. We just want to help you see that right now you're renting electricity from your utility company and it's way, way more than your solar costs. So I'm going to pick on you, Dagoberto.
Oh, I have a question.
Yeah.
So how many years would it take to pay off this investment really to break even? Because if I'm only going to be saving $9 a month on my electricity bill, that doesn't sound like a big savings. And then I'll have this payment for 20 years or so.
Well, how long are you going to have your electricity bill payment?
For life.
Okay. So you can have a payment for life that never goes away and always goes up like the cost of gas and bread, or you can save $9 and have an end date to that payment and produce electricity where you live. And what do you think happens to the value of your property if you had solar panels on it?
It would increase a little.
Yeah, the return on your investment, which I believe your question was, when do I get a return on my investment? Is that what you were asking?
Mm-hmm. Yeah, I mean,
it's actually so the return on your investment is the day that your solar panels are installed, because what you pay for your solar panels is less than the equity increase in your property. So consider it like this, Glendy. Have you ever known anybody, because this is so common, it really blows my mind, but I know people who have never painted their house or did any type of house upgrades, but when it comes time to sell their house, they're putting new floors in and painting the house and all sorts of crazy stuff. So why would somebody do something like that?
To get more money on the sale, to make it more presentable.
They wouldn't do it if they weren't going to get a return on their investment, right?
Right.
So if you were going to sell your house, one of the most intelligent things that you could do would be to have solar panels on it. And again, Google will answer this for you. But if you type into Google, what happens to the value of my home if I go solar, there's about 100 sources. They all have different numbers telling you how much value it adds, but they all say the same exact thing without variance, which is your home value goes up and it will sell faster on the market. And so the first thing that happens, again, if it's a weird question, really, if you think about it, to ask, when do I get a return on my investment for my solar panels? Because what's the return on your investment for your electricity bill? Negative 100%, right? I mean, every time you pay any amount of money, it's gone forever. And now there's an opportunity to not only add value to your home, but to become energy independent and produce valuable electricity on site where you live and save money right away. That's why Ovanova and our team does what we do. And we're willing to be as patient with you as it takes to help you understand that sometimes technology makes things not make sense anymore. And sunshine is absolutely free, Glendy. It doesn't cost a thing. Solar equipment is made mostly of sand, has no moving parts, and you can actually own it. You're not going to own a nuclear power plant or a coal burning plant. You're not going to own the power lines. You're not going to own the generator. So all this stuff is just a never ending, always escalating rental payment where you could actually own something on site, be energy independent if you wanted to, and save money, increase it to us. The only reason it just sounds too good to be true to folks, and they start to think, well, the hurricanes are going to blow it away, or there's something missing, there's hidden costs, what's going on, what do I don't know? And then they wake up the next day and life is busy and they got to take care of their yard and their kids and cook and clean. And so another month goes by and another month goes by where they pay the power company to generate their electricity. And so the most expensive thing about going solar, guys, is the amount of time between when you find out that, like we talked about tonight, where you can save money generating your own electricity, and when you actually have your solar panels installed and activated. Because Mr. Dagoberto, let's just say you chilled on it for like 6 months, but you knew you were going to do it. Well, your average electricity bill of $150 for 6 months becomes $900. It's $150.
Yeah, basically what I'm understanding is, I mean, once everything's installed, let's say it costs $20,000, I'm not paying Central Power and Light Company any more monthly bills. I'm paying the panels for the panels, and that's it.
Totally. It's like once you move into your house.
Power company's not going to get my check anymore. It's going to go to the equipment and the solar panels and everything.
Exactly. And so if you waited 6 months to make that transition, then the power company gets another $900 that could have gone to paying off your equipment. And no, that's the only thing I share with my fellow humans, because I'm like, hey guys,
that's the way I understood it. And that's I mean, you can't beat that deal, basically.
Totally. And again, if you start to get confused about it, again, just think about this. When you left your apartment and you got into the house that you now own, you didn't keep paying rent. You just took the rent money and put it towards a mortgage.
Exactly.
That's how it works with solar energy. And that's why we just, maybe you could support me in helping explain that in a way that you think folks would get it. But we've been doing this for 6 years, and if you look at when you get your open book pricing, it actually will show how much we earn if you go solar. And then down here, it says the number of people that are able to use our service like you are tonight, because you went solar. If you were to choose to go solar, this individual, it's probably pretty close to what your numbers are. You would actually support 34 people learning about solar energy if you actually decided to do it. And that's about what it is. 1 out of 34 people getting on, learning that they're losing money by paying rent. It's still, because people it's so difficult to get this. It seems like, well, what's the catch, right? And so, how would you explain it to folks in a way that so they could go, oh, okay. What happens is the world changes, right? Technology changes, and now it doesn't make sense to have a boombox or a camcorder when we have an iPhone. It doesn't make sense to keep horses in a stable so you can go get your groceries in town when you can drive a car. It doesn't make sense to put a stamp on a piece of mail to ask your grandkids if they want to visit when you could shoot them a text, right? It doesn't make sense to burn things to generate electricity 200 miles away if you can do it from free sunshine. So how would you explain it? Because I'm messing it up real bad.
No, I mean, that's the deal. I mean, it's just, you're taking that money from the power company and you just investing it in your house. You know, it's going to you.
Well, Mr. Dagoberto or Mr. Zavella, all I'll say then is, when you get your open book pricing, it's based on a guess that you made.
Right.
You said you said you think you spend $150 a month.
Yeah.
On
well,
electricity.
Sometimes it's more, sometimes it's less. It just varies. But I mean, that was just the number I put down there. But I mean.
And so, well, the reason I wanted to bring that up is because solar is an exact science. There's no need to guess at all. So when you get your design, on every page, there's a place that says ready to discuss your design and options. If you click here, there's actually a way that you don't even have to try to figure out when we're available. This program already knows when we are. And so you can click a day that works for you and a time. And then what will happen is you can actually meet back with us on Zoom. And If you call your utility company or you email them or you go online to the portal, you can actually see exactly how much you used in a given year. And then we'll know exactly how much electricity you need. And we can get it down to the exact amount of panels. Because if you're off by 15 bucks a month, your design numbers are off by $2 or $3 grand.
Yeah,
So
that was a question. It'd be, I mean, how many panels would it take, you know? I mean,
well, do you mind if I pull your design up? It's probably got your address on it, so it's got a little bit of personal data. Are you all right with me pulling up your house?
Yeah.
Okay. It's just got your. It might not even have your address. Okay. Yeah. So for you, if you guessed properly, then you would need 42 panels to produce 101% of the electricity you told us that you need.
Okay.
And so yeah, so you would support 35 people learning about solar energy and donations to 35 donations to organizations. There would be $6,700 in the budget to pay the electricians and roofers to install your system. Your panels, if you chose the ones that we chose for you, would cost $5,100. Your inverters, the things that turn it into alternating current that your house likes to use, would cost $4,400. The stuff to keep it on your roof so it wouldn't blow away in a hurricane or a tornado would cost $2,600. This is what we have in for shipping. This imperfect information fund here, this is money. This is $2 grand we have built into your price that is not earmarked for anything. And in most cases is returned to you in a cash rebate when the job is done. So the number down here, your tax credit's $8,100, your total 31,000. This number is what's called a worst case scenario total. It will never, ever be more than this, but it is likely that it's going to be less. And at the end, you'll get a cash rebate. You can either apply to your solar loan to make your payment less, or you can keep it and, you know, buy yourself a jet ski or, you know, a dirt bike or something, whatever you're into. So did that bring up any questions?
No. Well, question would be, the payment itself would be sent to who? Who am I going to be sending the money to?
You would pay. It depends on if you chose.
Do I get my own financing and all that?
We have a really cool financing option that is like applying for a credit card where you don't even have to supply. If you've got decent credit, all you have to do is show them your driver's license. They don't even ask for tax information. And it's not a lien on your house. It's a lien on the equipment, which is cool. So that means if you stop making your payments, they'll just come get your solar panels. But why in the world would you stop making a payment that's saving you money? There's less of a default on solar loans than there is on mortgages, believe it or not. So one thing I was going to bring up about this, though, just to help you understand the value of solar energy. So Rosa, check this out. Do you see this total cost for the solar energy here? That seems like a big number, right? 31 grand?
Yes.
Okay, but we already talked about we're all guaranteed to buy electricity for the rest of our lives, right?
Yes.
So let's just, oh, go ahead.
I'm sorry. Before I forget, I was going to ask you a question. So what about, like, you know, because here there's hurricanes, right? There's wind, there's a bunch of other stuff. So let's say, you know, the wind blows it off and tears my roof. Like, would I have to, then my insurance would go up, right? Or do you guys have like a warranty for that?
That's a fantastic question. So here's what we do. Let's say once you decide what you want, we're going to ask you to take 9 pictures. The 9 pictures are going to be things like your electrical panel, your electrical meter, your attic. We're going to find out how if you have 2x4 rafters or 2x6 rafters. We're going to find out if they're 16 inches apart or 24 inches apart. And then we're going to get engineered drawings and stamps. So we know exactly what wind speed your system can withhold and how much weight your roof can hold. Up north, where it snows a lot, it's really important that we don't overload the roof because there's snow and panels on the roof, and that's heavy. Down south in Florida, it's more important that we engineer things for wind speed requirements. So there's more attachment points. So instead of just attaching every 3 feet, we attach every, but the answer to your question is, 1, there's solar panels in your community because your local building code county has building codes that have to be met and permits have to be pulled. And so anything that's built is going to be engineered to withstand the winds. But we all know that hurricanes don't care about building codes. And it's very possible there could be a Category 5 that rips the entire roof off your house. And so that's why we get this last photograph, which is a copy of your homeowner's insurance, to make sure that you don't need to modify your homeowner's insurance. And most people, like over 90% of the time, your homeowner's insurance is going to cover everything just like it is. So if there were a hurricane, then all you would do is you would pay your deductible for all the damage that hurricane caused, including any work you needed done on your solar panels. So it's included in your homeowner's insurance if it's an act of God. If it's if the equipment fails, then that's what the warranty is for.
Okay.
And you're gonna have an app like this. This is pretty cool. Check this out. This is my app. So this is my house right here, and you can see. I can see exactly how much electricity my solar panels are producing. I can see how much I'm selling to the power company. I can see how much my house is using, and I know what my battery percentage is at. And it also breaks down like a little pie chart for daily usage as far as consumption and charging. It shows a little graph to actually show me what's going on as far as electricity. Tells me the weather. So it's like, oh, it was partly cloudy. That's why it produced a little bit less. If there's any issues with your equipment, if it's not functioning as it should, you'll know. Like we had a customer call us like 8 months ago because a branch fell on the panels, and the branch was covering up the panels and stopping them from producing electricity like they should have. And his app let him know. Right. So then he just called us and we said, well, hey, check your panels. And he looked up there and he was like, oh, there's a branch. He moved it off and everything was fine. But in general, your panels are really resilient. They're hail rated. If you do some Googling, you'll find out that, an anecdotal story is in Denver. Some friends of ours were working with an insurance company to put new roofs on a bunch of homes in this neighborhood because a hailstorm just destroyed their roof. But there was a solar field just right next door, and out of 10,000 panels, one panel got broken. So it's like having a hard hat on your roof. Not only is it resilient, but I'm curious to see who knows this one. Mr. Zavala, what do you think? What shingles do you think will last longer? The ones that are out in the sun every day, or the ones that are up underneath the solar panels?
What's underneath?
Yep, it's basically going to lengthen the lifetime of the. And so if you have a house where you got most of the roof covered, not only do you have a bunch of newer shingles underneath, but also you have a shade tree. The sun is not actually beating down on your roof, heating up your attic, and then going down into the house, causing you to have to air condition more. It's actually breaking that sunshine, and there's an air gap in between, so it's reducing your need to air condition. So there's a lot going on there. But in general, you have homeowners insurance if there's an act of God, Rosa. You have the warranty on the equipment if there's some sort of malfunction with the equipment. And then Ovanova also has something called an Ovanova Assurance Fund. So if something super obscure happens, like a squirrel chews the wires, right? That's not an act of God. Your homeowner's insurance won't cover that. And it's also not a manufacturer problem. So we put money in an account. So if something crazy like that happens, we can help you out. So so people aren't, giving solar a bad name and saying, well, solar was cool, but then we had to pay $800 because the squirrel chewed our wires. You guys won't say that. Y'all will be like, well, solar is cool. And if you get it through Ovanova, you're going to be taken care of like family. So, it's not only do we do it this way and support community organizations, you guys get a good people discount because we don't have salespeople driving around in cars. So you don't pay sales commissions. We don't mark up any of the equipment. All of the prices you see here are exactly what we pay and we don't mark up the labor, this is a pass-through cost to the contractors. So if you're wondering, if you get other quotes, why we're so inexpensive, the answer is not that we're putting cheap equipment on your house or we're working with shoddy contractors. The answer is you're not paying for sales commissions or advertising. You're just paying for Ovanova's fee, which is about what a salesperson earns anyway, and nothing else is marked up. It's just passed through. So it's just us now. Mr. Zavala, but I just want to make sure you were super clear on this. 30 grand that's not you, sorry, that's the template. So $31,517 is the total cost of your system if you decide to get a non-battery option. And if you chose a battery option and you got a 20 kilowatt hours of storage, which you can get as little or as many batteries as you want, the cost is down here. You'll be able to see it all transparently. Everything's transparent. Then your cost will be 51 grand. But check this out, I just want to show you one thing before we bounce. So, okay, if you paid $150 a month for your electricity, which was your guess,
Yeah.
and you did that for 1 year, that would be $1,800. And if you did that for the 25-year warranty period, the guarantee on your panels, then that's $45,000. If electricity rates didn't go up at all. So as far as and that's without a battery. So this is, you could pay $31,000 to yourself and produce electricity on site and make your house more valuable, or you could pay 45 grand assuming electricity rates don't go up.
Right.
And then you could almost get batteries installed as well for the same cost that you'd be paying to rent your electricity, and your panels are still going to work after 25 years.
What's the lifespan on the batteries?
It's actually by cycle, not by year.
Okay.
So every time you take the battery down below 20%, it's considered one cycle. And the batteries are warranted for 4,000 cycles, which means that if you were to cycle them every single day, it'd work for over 11 years, the warranty. But most people don't use their batteries every day. Most people use them like a backup generator. So these are fantastic questions. Thank you for being curious. And just know that this is just, we're here for you, man. If you click this link and pick a time, we'll Zoom with you and actually we'll go right in on your roof, and we can move panels around and we can change out equipment, add batteries, take away batteries, get it exactly like you like. And you know, no problem. That's just what we're here for. And if you know of anybody that would want to support an organization, have a free solar design for them and be able to explore solar in this way, invite them to check out the Ovanova Solar Exploration Experience.
Well, I'll go ahead and wait on the details I get and see what the deal is. Because I mean, I don't know. I mean, I got I don't know.
It makes sense.
It's interesting. It's interesting. So, but
I know that's where we're at. Is we're just really confused about why solar isn't in more places. And I mean, you're a smart dude. And did you learn some stuff this evening?
Well, yeah, because I mean, but the thing about it is, like, locally where I live at, this whole neighborhood or whatever, the whole area around, I haven't seen any. I've seen some, of course. I go play golf or whatever. I see some of these homes, or whatever, they they have them on the side, they have them on the roof or whatever. So, but it's something that, I mean, it'd be interesting to, you know, talk to somebody that's got them, and that's probably what see what the deal is, because I see all this I guess propaganda on things and everything, like, hey, and then they have Tesla, you know, they tear that thing, and I'm like, oh, okay, well, and my
all
son
seems so gimmicky, you know.
Yeah, but it'd be I think that'd be the thing to do. See if I can find somebody that I can just go knock, hey, what's the deal?
Yeah.
You know?
I mean, that's what, if you remember from the beginning, Glendy was saying that she has friends that rave about the savings.
Right,
and then,
right.
you know, Rosa also said, or no, not Rosa, who was it? Who was it? Oh yeah, Rosa was saying that like she just knows people that are saving money, and so it's good to talk to people that are like, hey, here's the deal. And people think that solar is for wealthy people and tree huggers.
Well,
And
that's the thing about it. I've seen a house just town down the road, and it's a wood frame house, and it's got solar panels. And I'm like, oh. So I think that's worth more than the house itself, but they got them.
So you and Glendy, y'all aren't together anymore?
No.
Well, that's cool. You guys came together tonight to support your grandson.
Yep, we sure did.
That's very cool. You guys have a ton of grandkids?
No, I got 2 in San Antonio, and I got 2 in Miami. That's it. So I think that's going to be it too.
Well, congratulations on your family, and thank you again for coming tonight. We're here to be helpful. Take all the time that you need. Just be aware that your timeline doesn't matter to us as much. I mean, I want to live in a world that makes sense. I want to have fellow humans like you that can, you know, listen to a logical conversation and take action. But the real deal is like, it's your money every month that goes to the power company that could be paying for your solar equipment. So let us know how we can be helpful. Don't let the lack of information or support be the reason that you don't do it, because I'm offering my services whenever.
Sounds good.
Fantastic. Well, happy Thursday, man. Anything you need, you should get your data by the end of the day tomorrow. And if for any reason you don't, like, reach out to us. Sometimes people put their address in a little bit off. Did you get your initial design?
No, not that I know of.
Okay, so if you didn't get your initial design, we might even have the wrong email for you. Check your spam.
Okay, because I got my emails from you all, and I got the text from you all. So,
but you didn't get your solar design?
No, not that I've seen it. Of course, I was at the golf course all day today, so I just got back.
What'd you shoot?
I was at the golf course. Okay. Today was a bad day. I had I shot 10 over par 72, so 82.
Oh man.
But
I haven't broken 90 in like 3 years, so you're all right.
Well, I've been up there, and it's not the same. Every day is different, you know. And I play about 3-4 times a week. So.
Well, cool deal. Well, glad you're finding time to go to the golf course. Well, I'll make a note now that that you didn't get it, but obviously we have the right email because you're receiving emails from us.
Yes, I did.
So I'll check into it. It's likely it kind of found your spam box, but we will send it over. So if you do not hear back, you can reply to any of those emails you receive from us, and we'll make sure it comes over.
Okay.
Fantastic. Take it easy.
You too. Thank you.